The easiest way to understand inheritance really is to look at it in a simple code example, and that's exactly what we're going to do together here. Now you will see something very similar to this code out there in your work files folder. This was built in a project called Inheritance Example, and then I'm coding in a module called INEX. Okay, so if you just look in your work files, you'll see the Inheritance Example. Open up the solution and you should see something very close to what I'm going to end up with here. All right, well, notice that what I've got here is I've got a class, and I don't know why I did that, but if I look at my cat class, and this is it right here highlighted, notice that I have set the accessibility to public, and I've created an integer called mAge, an integer called mWeight, and then a string called name. Then I created a function called inoculate that has a parameter of an integer, and it's going to return a string after it's run. Then I put some code in here that if age, whatever's passed into here, is less than 3, then we're going to return the cat has been inoculated. All right, or I'm sorry, if the age is greater than 3. So as long as the cat's older than 3, it has been inoculated. Else, if it's not older than 3, then it's too young for inoculation, and that gets returned. So not a very complex class, but there it is. Okay, now if I want to use that class, not a big deal. I can just simply create an object called C1 of type cat, right? And then I can set the cat's notice, the mAge equal to 5, and then I can set the name property or variable equal to Fluffy. That's a nice cat name, right? And then I can do a simple standard cout, and we'll put something kind of fancy here. I don't know if you'd call this fancy, but we'll go with that. We'll inoculate, and we'll pass in C1's mAge here. All right, and then we'll close it with an inline. All right, pretty straightforward. Okay, let's run this and make sure we're okay here. This is just standard using a class, no big deal. Let this compile. We will jump out there, go into Visual Studio 2010, go into our projects. We will find our inheritance example. We'll right click on debug, holding down shift, and type inheritance example, and there it is, inoculated. The cat has been inoculated. So let's just minimize this and close this. Now here is our deal. This is great for most cats. However, when we work with certain cats like Persians, we have to check to see if they've been checked for ATI. What is ATI? Don't know, don't care, just made it up, but it sounds like one of those veterinary doctory types of things. Okay, so we're going to have to create a new class for all of our Persians. Okay, so all of our Persian cats come in here, and so I can go add the functionalities that I wanted to for the Persians here, and I am going to put an integer in there for keeping track on whether we've checked ATI, and then I'm going to put some other stuff in there. We're also going to put a function in there for checking for hairballs, because I guess you do that different on Persians since their hair is longer. All right, that's about the extent of my knowledge on cats. Okay, now notice something here. If I call C1 still, because I haven't instantiated, I see the stuff in cat, but now if I come down here and instantiate cat, Persian as C2, then when I try to access C2, I only see what is in Persian, right? Check ATI and hairball. Well, what if I come right here and say, you know what? I want Persian to inherit the public aspects of cat. All right? And now I want you to notice what just happened to C2. Okay? Now when I hit C2, notice there is the magic and the power of inheritance. There's check ATI and hairball from my Persian class, but notice I picked up inoculate, age, weight, and name from my cat class. Okay, so the Persian class now contains this functionality plus all of this functionality in class. Now, Persian is inheriting from cat. Okay, so Persian is derived from cat, and the Persian class, it looks like, has a lot more functionality than it does. But this is a cool way to keep from having to rewrite a bunch of code, and a cool way to keep from having doing a lot of extra work. And it also, by the way, keeps us very, very streamlined in our code, in our operations, and we can build all kind of cool structure in. All right, so if I add a little bit of functionality in here, all right, and notice that I am trying to call hairball here, and it's not liking it. It is because, oh, guess what? One thing I forgot to do in my Persian class here is declare this stuff as public. All right, so now my little line will go away. So notice I'm setting the age of Persian. I'm passing in a 4 on the hairball, don't know why. And then I'm calling inoculate. I'm passing the age to C2, and then I'm going to check inoculated. Okay, and so I will recompile this, and we'll go out and run it. And there you go. Since the cat is 2 years old, it's less than 3, right? And so it's too young for inoculation. Let me get this back up here, and you can see it. Inoculated, the cat's been inoculated. That was C1, and then C2 was too young. Very, very simple example of inheritance. If you got that down, you're on your way.